Hello and welcome to another episode of Quick Spin by Autoweek, the podcast where we get into the essence of the automobile. Today, we're joined by Robin Warner from the seat of the Ford Mustang Shelby GT350 Heritage Edition. You can take a look at that car on our Instagram page right now. That's at Autoweek USA. And also feel free to swing by our Facebook page and give us a like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Drop us a note. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know what you want to hear about in the future. We're going to get to Robin and I talking about this Shelby GT350 in just 1 second. But before that, we've got to pay the bills. Our friends at Road and Trek have some big news to share. The premium lifestyle magazine for the automotive enthusiast is now fully loaded. Become a member of the Trek Club and receive 6 supersized double issues a year, plus access to digital content, dozens of partner privileges, exclusive invites to editorial events, and first dibs on insider automotive events, both online and around the world. Hop on by visiting roadandtrack.com/join. That's ROADANDTRACK.com/JOIN. And Robin, tell me about this Mustang. Robin? Robin, I think we might have a bad connection. Can you tell me about that Mustang? Well, that was Quick Spin. Thank you for listening.
Just wanted to be nice and concise.
Obviously, we're talking about the GT350, which you drove, and you're going to tell us about right now.
Yes, this is the 2020 Ford Mustang Shelby GT350, and it is so good. It is a 5.2-liter V8, naturally aspirated, but with a flat, plain crankshaft, 180 degrees separating the pistons instead of 90, and it has that cool, unique sound, spins to 8,250 RPM. It screams this V8 mighty roar, and it's actually pretty quick. 526 horsepower is enough to get you moving. It is a 6-speed manual transmission. It is like the thunder of Zeus comes down and crashes and bestows this vehicle in front of you to enjoy the mighty transportation of the gods. I mean, it is seriously cool.
You give us a little walk around of this beautiful Shelby Mustang, and you do that right now.
That is the sound of a 5.2-liter flat plane crank 526 horsepower V8 in the Ford Mustang Shelby GT350. It's glorious. I absolutely love that sound. Just listen to it burble. That glorious engine is part of the 2020 Heritage Edition version of the GT350. It is kind of a swan song for the car because 2020 will be the last model year of this iteration GT350. No plans are made for 2021. It is a option package that has the price of $1,965 added on to the base price of a GT350, and that is in homage to the start of the GT350 brand, which was 1965. You can get it on the GT350 or the GT350R. I am in a GT350. I am in a white car with blue racing stripes going from the beginning up over the hood, over the roof, and on underneath the rear spoiler and all the way down the back, the full length of the car. The GT350R looks low and squat and mean. It is the best looking Mustang out there, and yes, I include the GT500s. I think it just looks like a race car with a license plate. It's got this mean look. All the lines flow together really well. You've got these cool creases in the hood and bulges. You got fender flares in just the right place. I like the way the projector beam headlights look. I like what they did with the light signature in general. There's just a lot to like here. You've got a lip spoiler that says Shelby on the front. You've got a proper rear wing and back that probably actually gives you a couple hundred pounds of downforce at speed. it's a legit car. And of course, you've got huge Brembo brakes and Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. This thing is serious. This thing means business, and that business is driving. And so I'm going to go do that. I want to drive this car, and I'm very excited about to do that.
So, Robin, the GT350 has been around for a while, right? About 5 years. How has this car evolved in those?
Ford made some updates to the GT350 in 2019, and they weren't major. They were tweaks more than anything. But one change of note is that both the GT350 and the GT350R had the MagneRide shocks in the past. It was just the R that got them. So this was, I think, an important improvement. There's no reason why the GT350 shouldn't have the adjustability of MagneRide shocks. Those are the shocks that have tiny metal flakes in the oil, and electromagnets can actually affect the viscosity, the thickness of the oil, which affects how much damping force a shock has. And it does a really, really good job. The electromagnets, they can react extremely quickly. So you can have a lot of sensitivity to the way the shocks respond. So that was an important update in 2019. Not huge changes for 2020 from 19 to 20. It's basically carryover from a driving position. But what came from the beginning was that flat plane crank 5.2 liter, 526 horsepower, 429 pound-feet of torque. It's seriously, that motor is such a showstopper. That thing is so good.
I have to agree with you. I mean, the car's obviously been around, and people listening to this have probably heard it in person, but you can't sing enough praise about this Voodoo V8. It's unbelievable that Ford did it. I think 50 years from now, people will look back and say, man, wasn't that crazy?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because the engine is definitely the headline that everyone talks about, but really it's not what makes the Mustang so special. What makes the Mustang so special is it handles so well, and you get such good engagement with the car. It is kind of like this really fantastic marriage of new technology, but like old school analog feel. And that's what's so rare about this thing. You get responsiveness, you get a lot of grip, you get a lot of poise, you've got good balance front to rear. So it's the farthest thing from a muscle car, other than the name, than we've seen. It's so much more of a sports car than it is a muscle car. But it still does all the cool muscle car stuff, right? You didn't lose anything, you just gained. And that's why I was so excited to drive it.
Well, speaking of driving it, Robin, you handled the task of recording yourself while driving it, which is challenging in and of itself. And we are going to ride along with you right about now.
Well, there it is. Just one of the best sounds out there. That is 8,250 RPM from a flat plane crank V8. 526 horsepower, 5.2 liters. It's just one of the best sounding cars out there. And it's got so many admirable features. I have a 6-speed manual transmission that does the work for me. I do the shifting. I love it. It's not as fast as a dual clutch. I do not care. But what's more, I am in Recaro seats, heavily bolstered, very supportive, kind of enveloped around them, both my torso and my legs. So I feel plenty held in to be quick. I have adjustable steering assistance, I have adjustable shock absorbers, and I have an adjustable exhaust sound. Of course, that's always in loud because it sounds so glorious and loud. But this may be one of the best cars ever made, and it may prove to be one of the best cars ever made in history because it is just this really great mix. Hold on. because it's this just really good balance between modern technology and old school analog feel. I have good feel from the steering wheel, so it's not just the steering weight, it's the feel, and that makes it easier to go quickly through the corners and feel confident that you know where the car's limits are. I have really good, nice linear response from the throttle. It's a naturally aspirated engine. Power builds up linearly, and power builds up a lot. I have big Brembo brakes to work with, so I have plenty of stopping power and no worries of fade. And the stopping power really comes from the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, which are brilliant tires. They have so much grip. You can just corner at speeds that seem like it would be the limit, and you're 10 miles an hour too slow. It's incredible. And you start going, and it builds up, and you can feel how the adhesion's working with you. It's just fantastic. And you get the feel, you get the sound, you get the sense of occasion. And this is a beautiful car to look at too, and it's a fan favorite. I've gotten several thumbs up from different people as I've passed by. It's just been brilliant. There's technology coming that make cars faster, that make cars lap a racetrack faster specifically, certainly, that will grip a little bit better, that will be less likely to fly off the road and all these kind of things. But in terms of a car that gives you that just satisfaction of driving, this is going to be tough to beat. This is a potential pinnacle, the Ford Mustang Shelby GT350, and this Heritage Edition is beautiful. I love the white with the blue stripes, and it's not this like overwrought flashy thing. You can appreciate it, look at it. There's just a little bit of subtlety to it. It's plenty. Look, it's not like it's easy to miss. It's just not so in your face with color, and I appreciate that. And listen to that sound, just downshifting. Come on.
If there's a young person in your life who's really into cars, give them the gift of R&T Crew, the ultimate subscription box by Road and Track for kids ages 6 to 10 every other month. A box is delivered to their door and is stuffed with cool accessories, fun activities, and a magazine chock full of facts, stories, games, and more. Sign up now and receive the all-new Need for Speed box and enter code AUTOWEEK. That's, of course, AUTOWEEK for 10% off an annual subscription. Just head over to rtcrew.com. That's rtcrew.com and use the code AUTOWEEK. What an incredible car. But we are running a little bit short on time, so we're going to skip the pleasantries and I'm going to stick it to Robin right now. Robin, what is the essence of the Shelby GT350 Heritage Edition, besides its long name?
Yeah, well, maybe you might think, oh, he was just getting a little emotional in the car. No, honestly, this thing really does combine the best parts about latest technology and the best parts about what we've come to love about driving an automobile. And its starting price, the car that I tested was $66,000, okay? And it had some options on it and some options above the Heritage Edition. But for that money, you get amazing grip, amazing feel, amazing sounds, and the essence of this car is this kind of like zest for life. And it could just be a zenith when it comes to that meeting point of technology and old school driver feel. This might have crossed that point and be the closest thing you will ever have to an everyman's dream maker.
And that is, I think, about the time for today. Thank you, Robin, for your hard work doing this, and thank you so much for listening. Don't forget, head over to where you listen to this bad boy. Drop us a little review. If it's on Apple Podcast, would appreciate it. I'll give you a little shout out on the show, but tune in next week.